Catch me if you can.
Begin. Begin.
You deserve that. Stick around.
You don't stand a chance.
Begin.
Stay down.
Finish him! Your soul will burn! Time to liven up the joint!
Begin.
Smile, dipstick! They don't call me the main man for nothing.
Prepare to be astounded.
Watch out, Joker! This one looks kinda tough! Really? I think you underestimate me.
Begin.
Now that's funny. because I care. You're fired.
Now that's what I call an entrance.
Begin.
Will ya?
Begin. Solomon Grundy wins. Begin.
Radar lock.
Sidewood wins.
Don't mess with the best.
Now that's what I call an entrance.
Begin.
stings, doesn't it?
Green Arrow wins.
Time for the grand finale.
Prepare to be astounded.
Begin.
This ends now.
Superman wins.
I will defend Earth.
Begin.
Clear child's play.
Martian Manhunter wins.
This planet will be mine.
Begin.
No one can help you. Zod always wins. There's nowhere to hide.
Zod wins.
I win. I always win.
Must I remind you of my superiority?
Begin.
When will they ever learn? Rudy, it's done. Call a meeting of the board. Project Source. And arrange pickup for the suit. Need a tune-up.
Catch me if you can.
You run along now. I have business to attend to.
Begin.
You don't stand a chance.
Begin. Deathstroke wins.
Contract pending. Contract fulfilled. Retrieving next target.
You are a fool. Begin. Darkness take you. Not time. Raven wins. This is no game.
Fully charged.
Begin.
Almighty Neptune!
Aquaman wins.
I will defend Earth.
Athena, guide me!
Begin.
Hades with you.
Wonder Woman wins.
You're no match for an Amazon.
Prepare to be astounded.
Begin.
Never mess with that.
Zatanna wins.
Magic as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Finish him! Your soul will burn!
Begin.
Now you burn!
Scorpion wins.
To hell with you!
Behold the god of war!
Begin. Ares wins.
Only a fool would challenge me at my own game.
Begin.
I'll cool you off.
Frost wins. Begin. Doomsday wins.
I will destroy you all!
Time to bring the hammer down.
Begin. Conqueror wins. Begin.
Gotta love superpowers.
Shazam wins.
I like being a hero.
Now that's what I call an entrance.
Fully charged.
Begin.
Once a Green Lantern, always a Green Lantern.
This planet will be mine.
You don't stand a chance.
Begin.
I'm a real pain in the ass, huh?
Didn't stand a chance.
Time to liven up the joint.
You will know the meaning of fear.
Begin.
Fear me!
Sinestro wins.
You will submit!
You run along now. I have business to attend to.
I have returned.
Begin.
This will always be a world of dictators.
Finish him! Your soul will burn!
Begin.
You know nothing of strength.